Okay. What's popping? Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm just popping in real quick doing this. As you can see by the title, The Aftermath of Divorce, Child Support, and Parental Alienation. Um, I was thinking about this because I wound up having a conversation, and, kids came up, and because kids came up, it was like, people don't think nowadays about the aftermath of with how kids grow up in this day and time. What's up, Major? How you doing? And one of the big things about that is the people get divorced. What's up, Cortez? Hotep, Shahzad. What's happening? What's happening, Patrick? And I'm seeing that people don't think about the aftermath. I was talking to a young lady, went back to the gym. Hey, Naima, hot lips. Keep doing your thing, lady. And I was talking to a friend of mine. Well, she's not a friend per se, but about divorce because she's got divorced. And I saw after this, and I was like, listen, you need to go back to your husband. Like this look pandemic should have shown you don't need to be out trying to be single and mingling, right? And I realized, you know, people have become so comfortable being selfish that they don't care about the aftermath of divorce or child support or parental alienation until it hits them personally in their own little karma type way. What's up, DJ Moss, man? And what I mean by that is, I was listening to The Godfather, Kevin Samuels, a little bit while I was at the gym, and he was talking to a lady who, one lady who wasn't feeling. He was recapping. One lady who was not feeling too hot about her husband. The other lady who was proposed to two times by her quote unquote child's father, but she basically blew it off twice because she wanted to, try to level up in a sense. And I started thinking about the concept of, when people, what's up, Dietrich? When people file these no fault divorces, irreconcilable differences, and we just ain't getting along, and and I've never been married, okay? So I'm talking from a perspective of a guy who's single and has dated, dated these type of women and come across these type of women, and I'm talking from a perspective as a guy who's talked to the guys who the wife divorced him for this, that, and the third perspective, and you wind up hearing how the story actually ends. You know, Patrick was popping. My bad. You know, yeah, pay for it. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. And the aftermath of the divorce is, you know, what I've seen is people not have the same reasoning that they came up with back in the day. We're not talking about people who are getting divorced because of abuse, physical abuse, or what I'm saying, or getting beat. We're not talking about people who had a gambling problem or a drug problem. We're just talking about people. What's up? What's up, Dion? We're just talking about people who I'm not feeling you no more. Which, in marriages, that happens. You might, y'all gonna have a dry spell in a marriage, right? But I'm not gonna be on marriage long like that. But what I'm getting at is this: is at the end of the day, people keep thinking they can do better than their significant other, and then they wind up being single, and they get out into the dating market, and now they can't find better than what they left, and conversely, the person who got divorced, who they figured, they ain't gonna find nobody. They conversely can find somebody easier because they're actual a better fit for a relationship. So what I'm getting at is the aftermath of the divorce part is the person who thought they was the one winds up not being the one, and then they get jealous that the other person can find somebody just like that. And that somebody's normally better than them. This idea that you're going to keep leveling up, that's not real. Tony, what's happening? You know, yeah, I feel you. That's what exactly, Tony. Daryl Green. Oh, what's good? What's good? Everybody is, everybody is getting hypergamous. And and I don't have a problem with it. I just have a problem with the aftermath of it, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing people who want to go right back to the person that they left. And sometimes when I say right back, let me be more specific. They want to go back to the person that they left. What's up, Nigel? And it might be 5 years later. It might be 10 years later. I've seen people get divorced, get remarried, have a family, and now the ex, I want you back. I've seen people get divorced and they become single. I'm living my best life. I'm single. I'm doing what I want to do. And then their ex winds up enjoying being single or enjoying you not being in their life, or wind up getting with somebody and it's like, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. And I'm like, it's over, baby girl, it's over. Damn it, what's happening? Biblical solutions. I feel you, LJ. So the aftermath is very interesting, because now I'm seeing how it's playing out, because people are getting into relationships with false ideologies. And this is part of what this is about, is a lot of times these false ideologies about what actually is going to happen and how it's going to play out in the end, it don't end that way. It doesn't. This is where people lose it, where they don't work out together and then it works out with somebody else and then they can't handle it. Yeah, they want the resources without. What's going on there for TD? So here's the aftermath. Because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of people who are getting divorced. Here's the irony. You got the people who are getting divorced who got young kids, and you got people who are getting divorced who got high school or college age kids. The people who are getting divorced who got young kids actually, for some odd reason, think that they think that they could just pick up like that. Like, I got a kid, I got 2 kids, I got 3 kids. People gonna want me. No, they're not gonna want you like that. They're not gonna want you like that. And the first reason why they're not gonna want you like that is because you just got divorced. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, this is why you see women who've been divorced and they can't, and it's been a while since they had a man, because when they just got divorced, they wanted to be single. And they, on some aspects, they didn't want a commitment because they just got divorced. And on another aspect, they didn't like being divorced, and now they wanted to be married again. And it's like, don't nobody want to marry you. They don't want to marry you. Joy, what's going on? They don't want to commit to you like that. They don't know you like that. They don't want to commit to you or your situation. Because to be in a healthy relationship, you got to know who you're dealing with holistically. You, the kids, and the ex. And then asking people to jump into these situations is stupid. People getting divorced and they realizing, let me date younger. Because if I date younger, what's up, Gregory? If I date younger, they're not necessarily, they're more lenient, and they're not necessarily prepared for the totality of the situation. So they don't necessarily know what they're actually going to wind up getting into, because they're younger. And if you want to have kids, start with them. There you go. And then, but if you got kids who are older, here's the whole other story. You got people who are trying to, who want to get married, and they want to start families, and now you're dating people who might not want to have any more kids. So now your kids is 16 to 20, and you maybe I want to be with somebody and maybe start a new family. The people are like, no, I don't want to do that. My kid's almost grown. Why do I want to start from scratch? I want to, do my thing. See, I'm gonna get into the child support thing in a second with that. And then you got people who get older and they get divorced and the kids is older. Now they realize they're running out of money. So now either I got to get married again or I got to get a kid again as a supplemental income. A husband will be a supplemental income, or children and child support will be a supplemental income. It's a problem. This is the aftermath of the divorce part. And you got that into the dating market. See, dating in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, those are completely different dating strategies, okay, and dating ideologies. You know what I mean? Kids and benefits, things. Yeah, he said too many. Ooh, and sex matters. And to a degree, it's crazy out there. More, what's going on? Bucket, what's popping? Now, here's the aftermath of child support. See, the aftermath of child support, people don't take into consideration with the kids is you might have children who wind up being spoiled and entitled and still didn't receive everything they should have, or they were told that they could be disrespectful or taught to be disrespectful. And now you got men who paying child support, and that last payment hit, he done. He done went through so much dealing with the shenanigans. He done. Let's see what you gonna do as a child who's a young adult. Let's see if you're gonna reach out now. Let's see if you actually want to be have a relationship, because nobody talks about when the child support stops. Nobody knows if they're gonna actually have a relationship with their father or not, or their mother or not. Once the child support ends, you got fathers who like, look, man, I've been getting shafted all these years, because we're going back to what I was saying earlier. We're doing this from a different model. When we're talking about people, oh, these guys are deadbeats. Dwayne, what's popping? Gregory, my bad. What's going on? Blacksmith, what's up? Child support Emmanuel, what's going on? We're talking about people, Bree, what's going on? We're talking about people who are in a situation where you got these kids thinking like, okay, Salvador, what's going on? Salvatore, I'm saying dog, but my bad. You got these kids believing that, oh, dad paid all this child support, and now he gonna pay for my college too. But mom told me I could, mom had me acting any kind of way. So now that I'm 18 or now that I'm 20, and you gonna look out for me. And you got these fathers looking at you like, I've been looking out for you. You've been a jerk the whole time. I'm not. No, you finna be grown now. We're gonna see if that attitude you've been yapping about all these years. Let's see how real it is. James, it's over. He said I'm free. I'll be great. Thanks, fam. And then you got the flip side. Thanks, fam. Thank you. And then you got the flip side where you see, cool. I'm glad to see you here, Jacqueline. You got the flip side of it where you got some of these, you got mothers out here who they don't love the kid after the last child support check is paid. After that last child support check, they done. And then you got the kids sitting there like, that's where the you grown, get out of my house type of stuff come. And now the kid ain't prepared for the real world because you didn't teach him nothing, and now the family's looking at you like, hey, what, you just gonna throw them out there? I mean, you taught them to be this way. And see, and then it's a big rift between the kid and the mother, and then it's a rift between the kid and the father. And the difference is with the kid and the mother, the kid has more disdain for the moms because mom sold that kid a bill of goods that wasn't true. And now they're looking at mom's ideology to pay dividends and pay good in life, and it don't work like that. And dad was actually right. But now you can't go to dad. For one, pride gets in the way. For 2, all the BS that was done gets in the way. You know, flipping on the now you get your feelings hurt. You know, that's what I'm getting, because when people talking about these guys being deadbeats, it's a different. We do, you know, people are trying to save men in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. The worst, they combining the worst of those men together, and then isolating the best of those men at a particular time separately, and then saying it's a long time ago. So there's the aftermath of it. Because the aftermath of the child support is, once it's over, you ain't got nothing to talk about. And this goes into the scenario of some people, when they're on child support, it's like you got something hanging over your head. And now when you pay, it's over. It ain't over your head no more. And now the lady, you know, those mothers normally use child support and the child support system as like a power tool over your head, so they can do whatever they want if they choose to. And so and two more often than not, mothers choose to do unscrupulous things. And then when they paid out, now all of a sudden they don't have that power anymore. Now they're trying to go back out in the dating market, and people are looking at them like, nah. You know, that's the after, because now the kids, you know, and God forbid if you have kids by different people, and you see how one person is a better father than the other person, or one family is better than this family, and then when people start getting together, that a kid would rather wish this person was their daddy or this family was their family, but they got this family, and then you start going to the thing where now the kids starting to realize as they gotten older that mama's family is not that good. It's not dad's family, it's mom's family. It's always drama going on. And then, like I said, once it's all paid up and paid off, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, reap what you sow. Like once it's paid up and paid off, now you're dealing with the fact that, and it is no nice way to say this, that mom don't know how to live without child support. Dad gets a pay raise, mom gets a pay cut. So now some of these, the aftermath of child support is, now mom might use the kid. I'm saying mom because this predominantly happens with mothers, because Green Machine, what's popping? This predominantly happens with mothers because they have custody most of the time. She doesn't know how to live without kids. So now she got two choices. She's going to try to find a man, and depending on the age she was when she got pregnant, depending on how old the kids was, depending on how she looked, depending on where she lived, she may be able to find a man, may not. JT, what's popping? Now, but she want him to be a supplemental income. And if he's a guy in that age group that's done paying child support, the last thing he gonna do is be a supplemental income for you, and you got your own place and you got grown kids in the house. That's all right. Because this is what happens when the men see that you got kids, but you never raised your children. So you want to, so now your kids, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, and they still in the house. See, a lot of times when the child support stops, we don't talk about having the kids in the house as renters. Now your kids is grown and they're in the house, and now they want to now you want them. What's up, Melvin? Now you want them to chip in and pay this bill and pay that bill. Now they've been you've been using their child support to pay bills all this time, and now that the child support stopped, now you want them to get a job to help you pay your bills, because you can't pay your bills on your own. So now you're teaching this hustle, and it's different because with the sons, you're trying to teach the sons not to meet women like your mother, like mom. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Damon? You know what I'm saying? He's Ooh, I feel you on that. 12 to go. So now you're trying to Topaz, what's up? So now you're in a situation where you want this money to come in either way, but you want your sons to not meet a woman like you, because she's gonna put him on child support because she's been taught the same thing that you were taught, or she's doing the same thing that you did, and now the story changes. Because now, if the son winds up getting on child support, getting a girl pregnant and getting put on child support, he got to go. But if the daughter, winds up getting pregnant and put a guy on child support, she can stay. See, the older I've gotten, we talk about the guys who stay at home with their mom and stay at home in the basement, but I've seen far more women in their 20s, 30s, sometimes even 40s, but for them who've been staying with either their mother or another family member, or a group, or sisters together, who couldn't stay on their own because, of the child support situation. That's how they were getting by. Now the other part, I'm gonna get into and I should have said this earlier, but the same thing that goes on with the aftermath of that is now you start becoming your mom, and the guy starts becoming his dad. And see, the stories of people in yesteryear don't hold water today. Man, I feel you on that, Topaz. Thanks, Damon. Right. People don't know how to self-improve, D-True. That's a problem. Is it next 7 years going to be absolute? Man, I got you, Omega. I got you on that. See, that's the issue. Thanks, Damon. Thank you. And that's where we're at. And then we're not going to talk about, the aftermath of child support is when your kids wind up having kids, and then they start putting the money together, because now the girl that, the son that's paying child support, and then the daughter that's receiving child support, they're starting to look at it. Wait, now you got the people who are trying to survive per se, and then you got the people who are realizing how they got shortchanged at the same time. So it causes a problem. Now the aftermath of the parental alienation part comes in when you alienate one parent from a child, and then people, you should fight to the death. Look, man, you got to understand, you can't keep fighting with people. And see, this is what I mean about the aftermath. Is it 2.5 years is over? I feel you. This is what a lot of mothers don't get. These fathers ain't finna be sitting here fighting with you every day, every week, every month, every year, because you want him to prove this and prove that. You playing too much. A lot of y'all play too much. So now he or she only knows mama, grandmama, maybe granddad, and God forbid, granddad and grandma fall out, or grandma and mama fall out, or sisters and mama, or brothers and mama fall out. Now the family that was your half of the family that was a support system got smaller and smaller and smaller, and now you just stuck with the kids, right? Or the kid. And now you want to call on your quote unquote child's father, and the guy's like, so you want me to be a father when you want me to be a father? I'm not doing it. I'm not playing this game with you. You want to run, you feel like you running everything? Okay, run it. You know what I'm saying? Green Machine, what's popping? Mina, what's up? He said, I'd rather be homeless. That's dope, Karen. That's dope. Exactly. When people think guys are washing their hands with the kids, they're not. They're washing their hands with the women, with the mothers. They're like, I ain't got time for that. Because then the kids, if people don't want to say, even with the kids, when you alienate the kids, a lot of mothers have taught their kids to be totally disrespectful, to the point, or taught their kids to be disrespectful in the ways that they've been raised. What's up, Cupcake? What's up, David? The kids are scared to be around their fathers and their father's side of the family, because they know they have no quote unquote protection now. Now they feel like they're in the lion's den. they felt like, I was over here barking and barking and barking with mom barking here, I'm barking here, and we saying whatever. And now you at dad's house with dad's people, and now it's like, they're gonna kill me. I wonder why you feel like that. But see, that's the aftermath of the alienation, and to the point where now you might, when you become an adult, you might have family on the other side of your family that can actually help you. Jamal, what's going on? They can actually help you. But you know what? You never fostered a relationship with them because you were never allowed to foster a relationship with them. And then you start seeing that, the aftermath of this, like I said, when people become parents. Because now, I've known the girls who I grew up with who now they don't want their kid's father to be in their kid life, and then they think it's all good until, even when the kids and see, this is what I mean, how it's different. And I would say in the last 20 years, mothers have been lying more than fathers have been deadbeats. Because kids have been, I want to see my dad. I want to go hang out with him. I want to do this. And the mothers will say stuff like, I called him. He just didn't answer. He don't want to talk to you. He said he was coming. See, once the cell phones hit, and once the cell phones hit directly and people could call people anywhere, and this, that, and the third came, it became a problem for a lot of moms, because now people are talking to kids directly, and the advent of the internet and all this, that the people were getting at their children directly, or going through this person or going through that person. There was no, I wasn't home. I could call you right now. You know what I'm saying? You got a cell phone. I can call you right after work. I can call you when you go pick up the kids. Oh, but here's the problem. Over the years, now people are like, oh yeah, telling half truths. It was a game changer. And now you got, mothers, oh, he wasn't this and he didn't do that, and yeah, it's not working no more. And then kids are realizing, because they've got older and they've got their own lives and phones, and they're hearing these stories over and over and over again. And now certain things make sense and certain things don't make sense at all. So this is the aftermath. And with the aftermath comes what? Judgment. Oh man, my bad. There's a lot of judgment going on. I had to do, I had this conversation with my mother years ago, because my parents are 18 and 17 years older than me, because they had me as teenagers. And it's like, I did the best I could. No, that's something your parents' generation could say. That's not something my parents' generation could say, because my parents' generation was BS. I did the best I could do. And you know what I'm saying? I can emphatically say that what I mean by the aftermath of alienation is there's so many parents there's so many people who are parents whose parents were actually better parents to their grandkids than they were to their own kids. Is a problem. The aunts, the brothers and sisters were better uncles and aunts than the parents were parents to their kids. Is a problem. The big cousins, the great aunts and uncles, you know what I'm saying? They were better parents than the actual parent. Kwame was popping. And I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, exactly. I'm going to that, Kwame, because this is where all this stuff is coming from. And now I don't, when I say judgment, the older I'm getting, and the people I see who are older than me, I've seen this so many times. It's ridiculous that you have a kid, but you don't, and you were raised by your mom, but you don't want your mom around your kid like that. That's what's like, the same people who are raised by their mom and they love their mom, they start having kids, they don't want their mom around their kids like that if they are functional adults. If they're dysfunctional and they need some dysfunctional help, that's when they want their mom around. If they want to know how to play games and play the system and use the cops, that's when they want mom around. And then sometimes You got people, trying to blackmail, and sometimes people try to blackmail granddad and dad, like, you wasn't there for me. See, you can't blackmail the dads of the modern day right now from maybe like 10, 15 years ago up to now and in the present. You can't blackmail the vast majority of them with the "you wasn't there for me" game, because a lot of the "you wasn't there for me" game was was alienation. It wasn't on the fathers, it was on the mothers and they family. See, that's when it gets and then you realize that, wow, your dad might have been a better human being than your mom. Oh man, you was in okay. They said he said he toxic, right? I could see that. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times people have these narratives of us, and I talked about narratives yesterday, where it's not a narrative about us. It's a narrative that somebody made up about somebody else. So now your parenting is suspect. Now you're like all these, my kid graduated, just because your kid graduated school don't mean you help them study. Now, I'm about to say something that's going to be so cold and disrespectful. There's a lot of kids that graduated that people are taking credit for. My kid's smart, but your kid's smarter than you. And your kid didn't get their smarts from you. Your kid athletic. Your kid didn't get their athleticism from you. Your kid's creative. Your kid didn't get that creativity from you. So now all of a sudden, they're a splitting image of the person that you dislike. Now, the other part about this, that's on the flip side of that, because when the kids start realizing, I got this from where? I got this from where? And see, this is why the aftermath for the alienation is when you separate a child from both sides of their family, normally the person that does that assumes or tells the kids that they are the good ones. See, you were me and the good people. And then as the kid grows older, they come to find out the truth about both sides. And unfortunately, I can't say it in a nice way. If you alienate a kid from a side of the family, you're normally not the good one. So even if the other side it has their messed up ways, they're normally better than your side, because they don't have they're not immoral and unethical to do that if the shoe was on the other foot. So this is what's going on. LC, what's going on? So now it's like, okay, this is what we doing. That's what we doing, okay. And now, and then you see the cycle continue. Now you're seeing young men fighting to be around their kids. And see, the narrative have changed to the fathers was deadbeats, to we didn't believe the fathers was fighting to see their kids, to now it's documented that they fighting to see their kids, to they becoming the guy fighting to see their kids. So what does that say on the other side? They went from they was deadbeats to nobody knew that they was fighting because you was lying, to now they can prove that they was fighting. To now they got it on video and audio that they've been fighting tooth and nail, to now they becoming it. That's why you're seeing so many cameras and all that coming out. So now, and then you're seeing the girls get worse and worse and worse, and the guys get, in some ways better and better and better. When I'm talking about the parenting aspect, it sucks to say it, but it is what it is. Yeah, I feel you on that, Melvin. So what happens when the child support stops? What happens when the alienation stops? And now these kids are grown. Now they don't have a direction. And I've talked about this before, where a lot of young adult men and women are emotionally and spiritually behind and mentally behind, because they don't know who to trust. Because by the time when they become adults, that's when the whole story actually begins. That's when all of the truths start coming out. It's even happened to me. I've been in my 20s, in my 30s, where the whole truth came out then. So now, the childhood, you thought it was one way, but it's a completely different way. So now you don't know who to trust and how to trust, and how to actually deal with people, because you realize you didn't know the real from the fake. And then you start hanging around people like this. What I mean by the aftermath of divorce, of child support, and of parental alienation is, we forget that friends, children become friends with other kids who are from divorced family, child support situations, and parental alienation. And then they start seeing this, that, and the third. You know what? I'm gonna put the link in the chat now, because I said I was gonna do it all week. Hold up, Sister George, what's happening? I don't know. I swore I just put the thing in there. Okay, so anybody, you welcome to come on. It's all love, But this is what's going on, and what I'm seeing is a lot of misplaced hatred, misplaced anger, or misplaced dreams. I would have been this, or I would have been that if this would have worked out right. But if you would have did this, and you would have did that, you would have did that. So now you seeing kids grow up to be adults, looking at their parents like, I could have been a star if it wasn't for this. Because you're seeing more young men, even if they don't hang around their fathers, or after the fact, thinking to themselves, if my dad was more around, or if I'd have not even the crazy part about it, I'm gonna say this. They're either gonna say if my dad was around more, or if I would have listened to my father and stopped fighting with him, I would be in a better place in life. Because there are a lot of people who've been fighting functionality, that they actually put themselves in a bad spot, and they thought they were doing the right thing, because for some odd reason, they were taught that dysfunction was cool. Because we forget that, okay, just because you can make a decision for you, and just if you could do something that unethical or immoral that works out for you, it doesn't necessarily, and you think it benefits you and your kid, it doesn't benefit your kid, because your kids think they can go do the exact same thing and get the exact same results and still be looked at as a good person. It don't work like that. Yo, I hope you got my message last night. I'm bugging. Cleaner, what's going on? Heavy hitter, what's popping? And that's the crazy part. Like, when people gotta touch the fire, they get hurt. And then they blame themselves getting hurt, because families that tell you, don't do this, don't do that, listen to this, listen to that. And the crazy part, I've noticed, even with the alienation part, it's bad when you got kids. How can I say this? You got kids who actually think, my mama told me I ain't gotta talk to you, but I'm gonna talk to your mom and your dad. And they actually in their mind think that their grandparents, who's their father's parents, are really gonna be on the side of, yeah, I love y'all, but I don't love him. Like, huh? It don't work like that. And if the grandparents say, look, we don't rock like that, then you get the kids go back and say, granddad and grandma, they're not feeling that. Well, you ain't got to talk to them no more either. Like, oh, okay. And why I bring this stuff up is because people in families get older, people die, people inherit things, and now you start realizing how cold-blooded it is when somebody passes away and your kids can't even come to the funeral because of unnecessary drama, or the kids uncomfortable from coming to the funeral, or if it's really somebody important that you're supposed to be there. Like, if and I'll use this scenario. Say the father's mother dies. Now all of a sudden, your kid and your child's mother like, if I don't go to this funeral, I'm gonna look like I'm a real jerk. But I've been a real jerk this whole time. What am I gonna say when I'm at this funeral? You got the kid in a compromised position, and on the flip side, it's the same thing. If the mother's mother dies, it's like the dudes are like, if they've been beefing over nonsense, I ain't going to that funeral. What? To get why? I don't, I ain't talk to them. I don't like them, and that's why I said for people to understand, it's different from men and women. You gonna go be there for the kid? What, I'm gonna get blamed for the death if I go? She had a heart attack because of you, because she was trying to keep the lie going, and you got stressed out and she died because of you. No. This is what goes on in society. The second time, he said he gave me $5 and some socks. Like, what's that? Man. Yeah, I feel you on that one, Omega. I feel you on that one. Because this is where we at in society. Like, it cracks me up that when I think about it, like, when I think about it in its entirety, we are comfortable repeating this cycle. And it's so bad that we're making the aftermath of these things not working out normal. And when I listen to people talk online, I realize from time to time that they don't understand that it's not normal because they don't have enough time outside of it. Like, when the kids grow up after divorce and after child support and after parental alienation, and they're on their own and they're away from it, like, we talk about people being toxic, but you don't know how toxic your situation is until you leave it. So you got people from toxic situations claiming that people in functional situations are toxic, and then they wind up trying to emulate the people who were functional, which makes absolutely no sense. And now they're scared to be hypocrites. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna say these things, and it's not gonna be cute. Like, it's so bad that young men, when they get a young woman pregnant, it's an automatic assumption we're gonna have a problem. Vice versa. What's going on? Wrong. What's going on? Like, I don't think that we never look at it from a male perspective as if a dude is, I don't care, 16 to 30, having his first kid, it's on his mind that she pregnant. Why is she gonna be on this? This is my baby and my baby alone kick. This is my child and this is not your child type of thing. Watch that happen. It's so normalized that, it causes a problem that shouldn't exist. And then when these guys start reacting, people are like, what the hell? You see, I told you he was like that. No, you don't understand. If you did the very same, if he did the very same thing that you're doing to him, you're reacting the very same way. And people wouldn't call you crazy. Bro, man, what's happening? And they don't. A lot of us don't. Because my life is over. And this is part of the situation that, when you hear the ladies talk about the guys they were attracted to. The guys would be considered F boys, but they were F boys at first. And this is why, what I'm talking about, the aftermath of divorce and child support and all that, because if you're dealing with people who can't take care of themselves, but they're attractive, what you want? If you're dealing with somebody who can take care of kids, but you don't see them as attractive, so you don't want to be around them, what you want? Xander, what's going on? That's, you know, people getting each other pregnant because people getting pregnant because they screwing. That's how. And that's the crazy part about it is, you know, it's gonna, it's to a point where men don't believe women. Like it's gotten to that point where men don't believe women when they say, "Look, man, I'm on a pill, I'm on Depo, I got an IUD." Guys are like, because the birth rates have been going down because these guys are not buying the fact that um, that's what it is. To the point where and the crazy part about it is the younger women aren't having kids like that. It's the women who are um, 30 to 40. When the quote unquote college educated career woman who now want to now want to have a kid because now, you know, I went to school, got my education, got my career, now I want to have a kid. So now we own that. And this is where we at with the guys who are, I would say from 25 to 50 something, where you got to be careful of who you having sex with because I know too many women who will outright say publicly that they don't want any kids or they're not trying to have any kids, but privately they're trying to have kids and because they just want to be a mother, you know. Drag to the store. Yeah, they ain't finna do all that. They gonna fight tooth and nail on that one. They'll lie about it, and it is what it is. And when you get into a certain age group, because there's certain women who just, you know, we gotta take it into consideration. There's certain people who they don't consider themselves being able to be married. So the only relationship that they know that they have for a lifetime is the one with their child. It's the same with marriage too. Yeah, I ain't trying to have no more kids. So it's crazy. And this is why you see guys who wind up with multiple kids because they don't care, and they don't care when they're younger. Like the guys that people consider F boys when they're younger, they had a bunch of kids. Those are the same guys as they get older. They're like, oh man, this is killing me. I shouldn't have them kids now, John. It's crazy. People love their kids, but they don't love the situation that having too many kids put them in. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was trying to have a baby by 3. Yeah, yeah, and that sucks. That absolutely sucks. You know, Magnificent, what's going on? And it's crazy, but this is the aftermath of it. You know, and one of the things I've seen over the years, and the reason I'm talking about this also is because I was looking at, okay, we all know about the brother in Minneapolis that got killed, uh, and there was a riot that ensued, and then Gayle King came out talking with her concerns for black men, and it's like, really, Gayle, really, Gayle. Kobe died in January or something like that, and you was going at R. Kelly head, and now you was going at Kobe when he was dead, and so you was going at Bill Cosby, and you was going at your ex, and now all of a sudden you care about black men. This is what I mean about an aftermath, because the aftermath is people are trying to be loving after the fact, and people have made it their business to, I'm gonna be a jerk with you while I got time to be a jerk with you, but now all of a sudden after the fact, mea culpa. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time, let's make amends. I know I did a lot of dirt to you, but now I feel something in my spirit that makes me think, oh, I got your back. No, 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 no. See, the aftermath of all this stuff is already done your dirt. You're gonna forever be looked at as a person who starts shenanigans. You know, just man, exactly. And I know people like that myself. Who want to have a baby but don't want to deal with the guy, and that's a problem. I hate. I don't mean to be cold, but we went from the era of deadbeat dads, but I would say from in this current stage, it's going to be a lot of deadbeat. They're going to be mothers going to be looked at as deadbeat mothers with custody because of the reasoning behind them having kids and keeping kids and fighting and maintaining kids, and their kids are not really progressing around them. People are gonna, you the reason you got that kid because you're a mom, and you messed up that kid. You want to blame everybody else, not as you, you know. But that ticking clock is real. I know. I've seen it far too often. I talked about it a long time ago. I had maybe about two or three women that I know personally that at some point after I had my son propositioned me to have a kid with them. I'm like, no. And marriage was not on the table, relationship was not on the table. Just come on and just, you know, go ahead and knock me up real quick. I think you're a responsible man. I'm like, no, you know, and some of them have kids now. Some of them, well, I think two of them have kids now, and one of them doesn't. Um, so it's crazy, it's crazy. But this is the problem, after the fact that now you want people to be, father figures, and that's the other aftermath of divorce. And you want single men to be father figures to kids that got fathers. But you want a father figure, but you don't want the guy, but you don't want a father in the kid's life. That's problematic. You know, so it's just so problematic that it don't make sense. You know, yeah, right. You gonna call a dad a sperm donor, but you wanted the sperm donated to you. It's just like it's stupid. But see, we don't talk about this the way we ought to, because the kids suffer from this in so many ways that I've seen too many kids grow up to be adults and think that what they were doing is normal because they're following what their parents did or showed them to be normal. And then the parents got, 40, 50, 60, and now they just like, I raised you better than that. No, you didn't. That's exactly, you did the very same thing when you were their age. You just found Jesus 2 years ago. You started going to church 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and now you want to reinvent what kind of person you was when they was a child, when they was a teenager. It's stupid. It's hella stupid. Yeah, people tripping. Ah, now come, now come be irresponsible with it. That's hella hilarious. But this is where we at with it, and you're seeing less and less relationships, less and less marriages, less and less people getting pregnant. Less and less people who want to get involved with people for long term. And the other thing about this is I've seen less and less children with actual friends. Because of these divorces, because of this child support stuff, because of this parental alienation, I've seen less and less children with friends. They might have a friend on the phone, a friend at school, but they don't play sports like they used to. They don't have teammate friends. You rarely see, I don't see sleepovers. I don't see kids riding bikes together, going to play basketball together, going to the park together. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is video games to the point where you can be on a video game system online and be playing against a kid because the kid don't have no other kids to play with. That's how crazy it is now. If I bought an Xbox or PlayStation right now and set this sucker up, I can guarantee you I'm gonna go hop on a game and wind up playing against a kid who in all honesty, should be playing video games with his friends. But it is what it is. Man, I don't understand that either, honey. What's up, Charles? What's up, Sean? Like this is where we at in society, to the point where it ain't gonna change. unless people change it. Personally, I do think it's changing because people are opting out of all these BS situations. That's what it looks like to me. They opting out of these BS situations. No, they ain't offer no money. They wanted me to give them free sperm and pay, and deal with their shenanigans, and then put me on child support for 18 years a pop because they felt I was responsible. They had no care for what that would do to me, or and I'm like, what? Man, a normal summer still, yeah. You see kids at the court. I rarely see kids at the court. Rarely. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I see adults at the court. And the other part about it is, it doesn't. I think for the male female aspect, I think women, and I might want to talking about this tomorrow, where I think women have been taught to believe that they are just like men and life works out for them just like men. And that's complete nonsense. And they do things that they think they're going to get the reaction from a man that men get from women. And that's not going to happen. What I'm saying is, I've seen women who get divorced or have a baby, be single, and now they walking around with a newborn or a toddler, and they like, I'm out in this dating market. Yeah, I'm popping. Now that don't look sexy to men. Now men say, I could say, if you see a man out with a child or a toddler and he all involved, ain't no woman around, women coming up to that dude like, oh wow, you got a baby, or you doing it? They come up to those situations. They talk to guys like that. Sometimes they're looking for guys. It's a turn on for women. That's not a turn on for men. If I see you with a toddler and you trying to holler, no. You got to be, if I see you kind of thick, I'm like, she kind of thick, but because first and foremost, men are gonna see those women as taken because she got a baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Carlton? We're gonna see women like that walk around with kids, a child or children that's taken. That's gonna be our first frame of reference. And the other thing about it is, when I say they think this stuff is normal, and we're not the same, is if you see a father with a son or a daughter teaching them something out in public, people see it so quote unquote rarely that they are turned on, not even physically, but emotionally and spiritually. People just like to see that. But they've seen so much behavior with mothers where mothers aren't actually teaching their kids, and they either reprimanding them or teaching them something that's negative, that people look at it differently. People don't look at, people have began to look at mothers as a group as detrimental. And even when they're talking about fathers not being around and fathers being absent and fathers not being involved, they're looking at fathers in the aspect of fathers are more equipped to be better parents than women, because if the father was there, the kid wouldn't be out of control. If the father was there, the kid will make sure the out of control mother don't pass being out of control down to a kid. It's looked at completely different. It is the way it is. But this is the aftermath of that. And and even with the sugar daddy thing comes up when, and either guys are rich, guys are older and they got money saved, or guys not paying child support no more. Because now that extra money is just money, he can kick it now. And then that's the other thing, is the financial freedom of these men when they don't have to pay child support no more. Oh, guys cut up. Now that's when you start seeing these guys and these sports cars and these luxury cars, and now when these guys going on trips, what's happening, James? These guys kicking it, they going to these restaurants, they looking fly. Yeah, that's their child support money. They're like, shit, I ain't got to pay that no more. Tampa, what's going on? You know, that's their child support money. It's like, we done, we done. And then you see it, and the flip side of that is the other thing. You know, you having a man who keep a woman, it is what it is. You know, it's looked at differently. It just completely looked at differently, and I don't understand why people think the aftermath is going to be positive for certain people when it's not. I haven't seen a lot of good things happen. You know what I'm saying? Man, appreciate it, Tampa. But I haven't seen this work out well. You know, Hutch, what's popping? What's popping? The other thing that I'm gonna say is I've seen this far too many times, and it's disgusting. If you're with a person, and then you divorce them, or you go single, or you have a kid with a person, and you giving a person that you was with the worst that you got, now you want to get back into the dating market. Thanks, Poke Dog. You know, now you want to get back into the dating market. To commemorate, he said, got that roaster popping. You know, you want to commemorate that by getting back into the dating market. It doesn't look right when a person says something like, you know, I'm gonna get in shape because I'm getting divorced, or I'm gonna dress nice because I'm getting divorced, or I'm single now, so I'm gonna get in shape. I'm single now, so I'm gonna be more attractive. I'm single now, so I'm gonna be more inviting. It looks crazy when, you know, if you're in a relationship and it don't work out, you're supposed to be the best you can in a relationship that didn't work out. You shouldn't be out here talking about self-improvement because you were trifling in a relationship and thinking somebody, once you quote unquote improve yourself, you know, you're gonna be the one. It's like, no, you're not gonna be the one. A person's gonna say you're the type of person who's gonna put your best foot forward to look good at first, and then you're gonna get comfortable and fall off. No, thank you. I'm gonna get you right in this space when you got it together, right here, because you about to fall off. That's what's gonna happen. Same thing with, you know, with the when I said the child support thing, the aftermath of that. When guys stop paying child support, they done with that, and they start dating people, and the people, you know, hit you with the real man speech. A real man will pay for this, and the real man will pay for that, and the real man will do this, and the real man will provide for me. You know, when you hit a certain age, if your kids is grown, what you saying is you ain't got no more money because ain't no child support coming in. So you want to give somebody the real man speech, and he ain't looking at you like that because you already got a house or an apartment or a car or this, that, and the third. Why is he gonna come along and now you can't take care of yourself? All of a sudden, you've been able to take care of yourself all these years, and now all of a sudden, now you need a real man to come in and take care of you. It's not gonna work. You know, it's not gonna work. Not to mention, you know, the aftermath of the alienation part is what happens when people get grown and their children leave the house and your children don't mess with you no more. It's looked at differently. You know, if you're dealing with a father and he's been dealing with that drama all these years and the kid gets grown, when the kid gets 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, they still might not mess with their father because that's what they're accustomed to until they wind up becoming that father or becoming that quote unquote mother. And then they got, this was going on, because then they don't want to be that, you know, or then they see how it is. But on the flip side, you know, even when you're dating, when the kids grow up and they don't want to rock with you, as they don't want to rock with their mother, it's a different look to it. It's like, but the kid grew up with you, yeah. You raised the kid, yeah. So what's the kid's relationship with their dad? And this kid don't mess with you now, yeah. So this whole time you no good. You just a no good parent. You know, straight get that buying. Yeah, like you're just a no good parent. Because if the kid that you raised all these years that you did everything for this kid don't rock with you, it's for a reason. And I've even seen young kids that I knew who were kids who now they're adults in early 20s and they got kids. They don't even mess with their parents. They don't even. You going to see your mama? Nope. You gonna call your mama? Nope. FaceTime? Nope. Text? Nope. I'm busy. I got things to do. You say I know why I said. It's interesting. It's interesting. This is what happens. You know, this is what goes on. Like a lot of this stuff started, in my opinion, it starts around that college age. Because the aftermath of this stuff is when kids go to college, go to the military, there's trade school, that type of thing, and they start comparing notes and comparing stories, then they come to find out, okay, what's going on? This what went on in their life. If dad was cheating, if mom was cheating, if how can I say this? If dad just wanted out, or if mom just wanted out, you know what I'm saying? Or if dad was a jerk, or if mom was a jerk. Now you start seeing what's actually going on, because we think about the arguments and people say, people are arguing, but some people deserve arguments because I've seen it far too often where somebody is reckless financially and another the family suffers behind it and they get into a conversation and a confrontation and argument about finances because somebody's a reckless spender. You know what I'm saying? Trip, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, exactly. And then you start seeing the reckless spending habits go, okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. See, it happens. It happens. And I will say, one of the aftermaths is when I see parents looking at their children go through the very same thing that they did. Soul Shader, what's pop? Soul Provide, I'm bugging. When I see parents looking at their children go through the very same thing that they did, and I see them stuck in that place where they don't know if they can help because this is a situation that they created. Like if I see when a father sees a son going through the exact same thing, and now the son is like trying to reach out for advice, and the son realizes I was okay, this is how I was acting, or the daughter, I hate to say this because somebody that I know passed away about 2 weeks ago, and the last time I talked to him, he was like, his only problem that he has was his daughter was keeping the grandchild away from the father. He didn't like that. And now that he's passed, there's nobody to get in the way of that. So when the kid grows up to be the kid that, what, I could do this. I'm going to do this because mama did it. And now, the kid grows up and say, I'm going to keep this kid away from their father because my mama kept me away from my father. And then the mother is a grandmother's age. And now she's stuck in that situation where I'm supposed to tell her it's wrong. But if I tell her it's wrong, then she going to realize I've been wrong. I was wrong for what I did with her. And so let me just, either I'm going to feed into her and tell her she's right or make up reasons that hopefully make her feel like she's right, or I'm going to tell her she's dead wrong, and then me and her going to get into it because it's going to be a problem. Tyrone, what's popping? So, and then the aftermath comes of that. And then, the aftermath comes because I've seen a son look at a mother sideways because now the son has a baby mama that acts just like mama, and now it don't look the same. You get what I'm saying? It's just like the son has a baby mama who's doing the very same things his mother was doing, but he was looking at it from a son and mother perspective. I was struggling, I was going. Now he's like, oh no, you wasn't struggling, you was playing games because I'm getting the same game, and that girl telling my child the same thing you was telling me to CYA, to cover your ass. Okay. So now it becomes a whole nother thing. Because when we're dealing with the people in itself, a lot of this stuff, the chickens come home to roost. The aftermath of divorce comes home to roost. The aftermath of child support comes home to roost. The aftermath of parental alienation comes home to roost. Because if you don't stop this stuff at a certain point, you're going to wind up being caught in it again. And since people don't say it's wrong, or people don't do nothing about it when it's wrong, or people go so far off the deep end doing wrong because, some of these people, I hate to say this, but it's true. Some of these people just need an old-fashioned ass whipping. But then some of these people who file for divorce need an old-fashioned ass whipping. Some of these people who play these child support games need an old-fashioned ass whipping. Some of these people who play this alienation game need an old-fashioned ass whipping. That's all. But then they'll use it, see what happened, I'm a victim. No, you're not. You deserve every lick. Every one. Because the kids grow up thinking they can pull this stunt. They are becoming parents way too young, but less people are becoming parents young now. So that's the good part about it. Pull out that switch. No, mama. But this is where we at. That's a shame though. That is a shame. That's a shame. But this is the aftermath is problematic, and I just gotta say it's problematic. But I'm gonna since it's 3, I'm gonna go cook real quick because I ain't ate all day. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Bro, man, I'm gonna catch you. I knew you was a real. Appreciate it, fam. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Though. Y'all have a good one. We out on this one. I think we out because it takes all day to end the broadcast. But peace.